Oh, what's up, guys? So, for Google Ads, I'm now taking a course from Google, Skillshop, and that is on Google Ads, specifically Google Search Ads. And yesterday I was like thinking I would do this type of learning similarly to how I'm doing Make.com's learning, which is basically go 20 minutes and then recall at the end. However, for Google Ads, this course specifically, I found a good course, I believe. It's really, really solid for exactly what I'm doing. So I thought, why not do this, the right way? Max retention can take maybe twice as long, but it's only a 3 or 4 hour course, so maybe it'll only take 10 hours. So maybe maximum it'll take 20 days, less than 3 weeks to really digest Google search ads course rather than kind of going through a little quicker. Make is fine because I'm not really, I'm just learning bare bones stuff. But for Google search ads, I know a decent amount, and it's something that's very applicable right now to what I'm doing. So I thought I'll do it more like I'll do it doing with linear algebra, make it stick, and that is basically at the beginning of every day I recall what I learned yesterday. So that's what I'm doing right now. Then I consume some content, come back, recall, consume some more, come back, recall, repeat the next day. Aiming for about 60% of the time actually recalling, retrieving, practicing, elaborating, and 40% of the time actually consuming new information. So if it's a 3 hour 40 course, it really takes me 3 hours and 40 minutes of consuming. It should take me about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours for actual, maybe even 5 hours potentially, 4.5 ish of actual recall. On that note, what did we do yesterday? We watched one video about Google's AI and search ads and how to maximize and give the AI machine learning as much power as possible. And there's 3 ways to do this. You want to use broad match, which is not something I've been using. I've been using exact and phrase match. We'll probably be moving to broad match soon because of this. 2 is value-based conversion tracking, value-based conversions, which doesn't matter to us as a lead generation search campaign. And then thirdly, responsive search ads, which allows Google to have more power to tailor the specific words to match someone's search query on Google. Okay. That's basically yesterday. We only watched about one video that was 5 minutes long because I was searching for the right course to get, etc. So what I'm gonna do now is jump back into learning, and then I will come back and recall once I've gotten to a logical checkpoint or something like that. So be back in a sec. All right, guys. So I just read through an article basically titled "Recognize the Value of Google Search." Recognize the value of Google search campaigns. Again, reiterating the 3 steps in order to fully utilize Google AI and machine learning. So Google has been utilizing machine learning since the early days, way back in the day. And they noted that over the past 5 years, Google has improved their language model's ability to understand human language by 50%. So like I say, or I think, choosing to give these social media platforms such as Google and Meta more and more control over machine learning and your advertising and your impressions is only going to keep becoming a better and better strategy as these machine learning algorithms become more sophisticated. So every day, Google has about 5.6 billion, I think so, queries or searches. And so Google does its best to store the world's information, human information, and to show it and serve it up correctly. So for advertisers and searchers. So when people search for something, Google does their best to show exactly what they're searching for. And so if you give Google more control over your headlines, descriptions, the combinations, time of day, bidding, and broad match, it's going to be able to perform better for you. So broad match is basically bidding on intent, bidding on like general abstract thing they're looking for, not specific words. So if exact match is basically you're bidding for keywords that people search literally. Phrase match is more general, but still very similar to exact match, and that is you're bidding for things that basically include the keywords, but also can include other keywords. And then broad match is bidding on intent. So no matter how someone says they're looking to buy a used bicycle, for example, and no matter how they say that, broad match will capture that intent. And of course, there's going to be some errors and some, it's not going to work all the time, but that's what machine learning is for. It should be the longer it runs, the more it learns. Oh, this type of intent, this type of user with this at this time of day with this search doesn't really work for our ads, doesn't get conversions, so don't bid for those. Okay, so smart bidding is like this includes this value-based conversions, but smart bidding I think is a setting that you can turn on, and it's going to allow the machine learning and the algorithm to take into account a bunch of different factors, including gender, age, time of day, previous search history, interests, etc., time of the month, etc., all this different data about this user and their query, and decide then whether or not to bid on the keyword, which you can't do without smart bidding. So broad match plus smart bidding plus finally responsive search ads, which will allow you Google to have more free reign to decide what words, what headlines, what descriptions to serve up to these queries in real time in order to get the best conversion. So that's the 3 ways to best utilize and give Google AI the most power in order to get the best results for your business. So that's something I'm going to probably do. I'm probably going to implement these 3: smart bidding, broad match, and responsive search ads. Right now we're doing phrase match largely and some exact match, as well as non-responsive, basically like only using a few headlines. And I don't know if smart bidding's on or not, probably not. So we're not doing any of this and we're getting decent results. If we implement all these things and then let it sit for a while, I'm sure we'll get killer results. I trust in Google AI and the machine learning algorithms to serve up some pretty good results. Okay, so that's what we talked about, or that's what I read about. Kind of read how it works, but I think I got to explain that pretty well, I think, thoroughly. Yeah. So search ads, I kind of explain what search ads are as well and what they're not. They're not the image ads, shopping ads, not videos. They are, when someone searches something up, you get a sponsored text headline and one of those searches. Not always, but that's what the type of ads you're talking about. Okay? Anything else? I think that's pretty much it. We've got a few more minutes. I will go ahead and start the final lesson in this unit about AI-powered search ad campaigns. So talk to you in a few seconds. All right, guys, wrapping up for today. This next section was basically it's called like basically setting up your first Google search campaign, how to do it. And so basically the overview we read, and it was basically like, first, you're going to want to learn about how Google accounts work, how they're structured. Second, you're going to want to set marketing goals. And then third, you're going to want to set up your campaign, your search campaign in order to meet your marketing goals. Okay, so first we just basically read about how the organization, the Russian dolls, like the sets, which sets are in which, how are the organization structured. So at the top in Google accounts, there's an ad manager account potentially, not always, but a manager account can manage many accounts. An account within accounts, you basically have a unique email, password, and it holds campaigns. And campaigns are basically, they're groups of ad sets or ad groups. Ad groups, I think. So campaigns hold ad groups, and campaigns have unique settings and budgets. And then ad groups potentially, or maybe a different word, but these ad sets or ad groups have the keywords and similar ads. Yeah, so that is everything for today. Learning a lot about Google Ads straight from Google, straight from the horse's mouth. It's very valuable information. Very happy of taking this course. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.